place here, Sean. It has been an absolute blast casting with you. We are guaranteed at least 3 games here, as remember, this is a best of 5. And look like they're having a little friendly banter there, but up in the top right side, it is indeed going to be GoldenLighT. And down in the bottom left side, showing us that he can hold off cheese all day long, it is going to be VortiX.
You know, I think that there was kind of an interesting clash of styles in the last ZVZ we watched, GoldenLighT versus Johnny Rico, where Golden was doing a lot of cool timing pushes while still trying to slowly step towards the Hive tech. Johnny Rico sprinting to the Hive tech, focusing on defense, having excellent drone timing, and it was only one flood counterattack that prevented Johnny Rico from being here in the finals. GoldenLighT will no doubt return to that similar style. VortiX, on the other hand, if we've just looked at his last Zerg vs. Terran against Select, we've seen a sort of full range of interesting responses from VortiX. Sometimes he wants to go for that very long-term play, very much so favoring extending with more expansions, getting higher tech up, being not aggressive. But we've also seen him completely and totally abandon everything and commit to a speed baneling all in.
And you know what, Sean? That's something I love about casting tournaments like this, whether it's, you know, MLG, IGN, or the TSL, which we're watching today, is you will see builds like that. It's not going to be the standard, oh, I'm ahead, now let's expand 28 times and drag it out another half hour. He was saying, hey, I want to go for something that Select may not be expecting, something that you may not see on ladder. And he did indeed go for that Baneling Zergling all in. I like to see it. It makes StarCraft 2 exciting, because if everyone went the same builds every single time, then they might as well just play chess. We do see the expansion going to be going down here at the...
That's an odd pot shot to take at chess. Chess is a great game.
I do indeed love chess. Although, do they have awesome commentators for chess who are like freaking out, like, oh my god, he's got to be moving the rook and he switches it with the king?
Well, of course they do, but the problem is that the commentators are so high level that they're freaking out about a potential move he could make 20 moves down the line. It requires a lot of mental focus and rigor on the observer's part. But fortunately, in a game like StarCraft 2, Blizzard kindly made a lot of explosions and blood.
That does make it good. It reminds me of that really old chess game. I think it was like on the...
Yeah.
Is it like the Super Nintendo or like the regular Nintendo or something, where the queens are so awesome in that game? But
yeah,
anyways,
like when the chess pieces would kill each other, like or capture each other, they wouldn't capture. They would like pull out a battle axe and like you'd see a pawn cut down a queen and stuff. If only it were that way with math homework, or when you like boxed in the answer, like a guy with an axe came out and just killed a monster or something. Oh god, I should go into educational game design.
We should start a school, Sean, and that's how we will grade all the homework. But regardless, here we do see the expansions going down for both players. VortiX going to be getting his expansion a little bit later. He is moving that queen on down, as he does have the spawning pool timing advantage, so he'll be ready to go. In that regard, we do have a couple of Zerglings slipping in here, trying to kill off a drone for VortiX. Not going to be able to do too much here. But we already talked about this map a little bit in ZVZ, and that there's just so many different counterattack paths. And really, anytime you see Zerg players play on this map, you just have to be careful of tons and tons of Zergling counterattacks.
Now, already you're seeing some slight differences. VortiX a little ahead on food, a little ahead on the Zergling speed, a little bit behind on the overall mineral count as he began mining that gas earlier on. But despite these minor differences, the distance of this map essentially makes those about the same. Both players will almost certainly be delaying the Roach War and getting either an earlier third or an earlier layer. Getting Roaches in this position is a disaster, because you have to either go along the top or the bottom path with your Roaches, and a counterattack will happen with Speed Zerglings along the other. So, Roaches ain't the right thing to do, Mike.
I'm going to have to agree with you, Sean. Also, we do see that defensive Baneling Nest on the way. Zergling speed about to wrap up here for both players. But I know we talked about this a little bit in the previous ZVZ series, but one thing I love about the recent changes to the matchup is that it basically makes the games kind of more long and winded. We're just gonna
the game gets a lot more tired as it gets a better and better mile time.
And I'm so used to watching DBZ where they just are all like one base all inning all day, and the Zerg player who spans just gets completely creamed. But we do see that you know, defensive positions here for both players. We do see the double early Evo chambers here. Armor is going to be the first upgrade. And do you think it's going to be the melee or the range upgrade for the next one?
I would imagine it's going to be a melee upgrade for VortiX, just knowing his style, but of course going for the very fast Roach is certainly not bad. There's the melee upgrade going down right now. It makes a lot more sense to rush for 1-1 Zergling upgrades, because if you think about it, when you get the layer up, you're going to be spending all that gas on 2-2 really, really quickly. So by going for this early of upgrades, you've essentially cut out all your gas. So with no gas, it's certainly hard to make a lot of roaches, let alone a lot of speed roaches.
Oh! Nice Baneling hit there. Going to be denying the push just a little bit. It may buy him enough time to defend this third base. This third base is before the 8-minute mark. He threw it down around the 7-minute mark, and that is ridiculously early. That means the Zergling's streaming on down here. They have got to force the cancel here. The Baneling's trying to be effective, but so far he's been able to split it, but no! Loses it right there. There's no more reinforcements for VortiX. Is not able to deny this third. And Sean, I feel like this third is so early. Is this a must-deny situation for VortiX here?
VortiX is going to back up and take a little bit slower of an expansion of his own, and he doesn't need to deny it, but he needs to delay the drone mining, which is why he's going to continue to hurl these lings. And seeing those roaches is good news for VortiX, because VortiX now knows your layer has to be delayed, and you're building slow units that can't attack. I'm going to be safe for a long time. VortiX would very much so benefit from building a macro hatch right now, a round of drones, and going straight for that layer.
Layer tech for both players at about the same time. It does look like the +1/+1 nearly complete here. The Lings are. They're just going to run on in the main. That Baneling that was out for blood was not able to fully commit there. But here we go. The Queen guy gets completely surrounded. Where's the defensive units here for GoldenLighT? It does look like not in position quite yet. He could get yet another Queen, but he's stuck on the Roach. You got to let go of the Roach. There he goes. Is going to take out that Queen. A second Queen going down. That is going to make this attack well worth the investment. And if he gets a single throne here, he does indeed. Plus forcing the transfer away. And Sean, what do we have moving on here?
Oh, it looks like another counterattack as Infestation Pit +2/+2 goes down, and it looks like VortiX will even be able to take out the third. Zerglings in the main, Zerglings in the third base. VortiX is absolutely everywhere. A mineral-only attack style GoldenLighT with a seemingly perfect response, unable to answer. The third base taking massive damage, and Husky, it will go down.
Indeed it will, Sean, and there it goes. And the Roaches show up to that party a little bit late, only to realize that where the party was at had just blown up. So they're just going to have to go ahead and back up to that natural. But unfortunately for GoldenLighT, he just doesn't have the Queens. I mean, his Queen count is at 0. So now he just finished one right there. He has an additional Queen on the way, but that means no inject larvas, which means he's going to be hovering a lot of money, which means he's got to spend it on upgrades, which are kind of too little too late. We do see the 1-1 on the way. Roach upgrades as well. But Sean, do you think trying to defend on this map with Roaches was a bad choice? Because it's so tough with how many different ways you can get into the second and third.
Oh, it's just the most action-packed, excitement, fist-pumpingly awesome situation to be in. A lot of speed Zerglings versus slow Roaches and a limited number of Banelings. It's very difficult on 3 bases this early as a Zerg player to have a lot of Banelings and Roaches. You can essentially have one or the other, and VortiX just slips around everything. This is like watching Jet Li.
Oh, he is the Queen Sniper, man, killing off every single Queen. Once again, got to be forcing the drones to transfer away. Banelings are going to try to connect, and they get okay hits, but the damage has already been dealt because not only is he killing off Queens, which costs a lot of money, it also is more and more delayed with the inject larvas. But he had a nice network.
Looks like he canceled it. It was at his natural expansion. He didn't want it to get spotted. He's rebuilding it now. VortiX could go for a timing attack right now, but I think GoldenLighT is being very clever with this cool counter with this Nidus Worm. I mean, his opponent has been throwing a lot of Lings, and no doubt there's going to be some Infestors coming down the line, but GoldenLighT knows he can't cross-map it. He's just going to get countered and killed, so he may as well just teleport.
And, you know, hopefully for VortiX, he realizes that that's going to be his opponent's only option. He does spot no mining drones at that third base. He sees a lot of Roaches, so he's going to have to prepare for something like the Nidus Worm. Somehow, though, this Overlord going completely undetected right now. And is the Nidus Worm on the way yet? Yes, it is, right inside the main base. If this Nidus Worm actually gets up, Lings versus Roaches can really favor the Roach player if he's backed up against that wall, so the Lings cannot get the surround. The supplies are almost identical here. What's the Infestor count looking like? It is at 8.
Wow, 32 2 roaches on the field, though, and there it looks like springing into action. The 2-2 is done for VortiX, so that means that he cannot try to deny those upgrades. GoldenLighT trying to kite back. He's starting to cluster him up. He's clustering him up. And there, the huge fumble. It's so green. A lot of infested Terrans now surrounding everything, and VortiX demonstrating the strength of this infestor Zergling style with superior upgrades and the huge infestor count. Nidus Network ain't no thing. VortiX with an out